Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2027 Kia Telluride. This is the XLine SX Prestige all-wheel drive. It's finished off in black jade green with an MSRP just over $61,000. Now this is powered by the 2.5-liter 4-cylinder turbo. It's paired with both the hybrid electric system along with the 6-speed automatic. Pumps out 329 horsepower, 339 pound-feet of torque. That power sent through the all-wheel drive system, propelling this nearly 5,000-pound SUV from 0 to 60 in around 6 seconds. It has a top speed of 130 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 18.2 gallons. You'll expect to see 30 miles per gallon in the city and 33 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 116.9 inches. Its overall length is 199.2. It has a width of 78.3, a height of 69.9, and its ground clearance measures in at 7.4 inches. Now as we move on to the exterior styling for the latest Kia Telluride, this has a phenomenal design to it in my opinion. It mimics some six-figure luxury SUVs in some of its aspects, and I think that looks great, especially for its pricing. Now up front for this model, you'll notice the blacked out Kia badge. There's also a forward camera, and then all of the gray trim accents within the squared off grille. It matches nicely with the design for the headlights, high beams, and the vertical turn signals with more gloss black. And you'll notice there's fog lights mounted in the lower section along with the reflectors. So those are mounted in that lower corner. There's also more gloss black for the lower bumper. There's a sensor right in the middle for distance pacing, more cutouts in the grille, and then active grille shutters just behind that. Parking sensors are above that there, and then there's some smooth lines coming down the hood just to give it a clean look. Now as we work our way to the side, the gloss black works its way to the fender arches. It's also on the 21-inch wheels, which have a unique look but matches very nicely with the overall design. That gloss black works its way in the lower side skirt. It's also on the power folding side mirrors, which have a camera and a turn signal. You'll notice more gloss black for the window trim. It's on the A-pillar, the roof racks, and then there's a full moonroof up top. Now, hopefully, as you saw with the side mirrors opening as I approached the vehicle, the door handles will pop out. So of course, this makes it easy to enter and exit. When you lock the vehicle or you put it into drive and start driving, of course, they will go in and be flush with the bodywork for more of that aerodynamic design. And then being a 3-row SUV, I think the proportions are great. Very smooth lines flowing down the side, where in back, this has a very squared off look to it, but it looks fantastic. Up top, there's a very large third brake light. There's an additional camera, wiper blades tucked up underneath. There's a backup camera, parking sensors, LEDs for the lighting. And then this model's also equipped with the factory hitch, so it can tow right around 4,500 pounds. Now this also has remote start, and it has Kia and Hyundai's Smart Park Assistance. So with remote start, which is the top button, you can then utilize the bottom two controls to move the vehicle forwards and move the vehicle backwards. I've demonstrated this in previous videos. It is a really unique party trick, but it can also be helpful in some tighter parking situations. You do have to be relatively close to the vehicle in order for it to work, and the vehicle will only go in a straight line. Once you release the button, it will apply the brakes and stop the vehicle. So it's a pretty neat process to see. Now as we work our way to the cargo space, you can use the control on the key fob or the control underneath, and we have quite a lot of space. Now currently you'll notice the third row is folded down. You can have this cover installed. The seats do have to be down, of course, and you can utilize that as needed. And the third row is manual. I think that is a really nice feature. In a lot of vehicles today, they are usually going to be automatic, and that just takes a lot of time in my opinion. So I like the fact that they are manual. You can also fold down the second row. You do have to manually put them back up. You have to adjust the armrest. We'll come around to that seat here shortly. You have a lot of space behind the third row and then behind the second row too, depending on what you're doing for the day. Now there's also some tie-down hooks, and you do have a little bit of storage under the floor where you can place some smaller items. You do have an outlet as well, and then a few hooks too. And then up top, you can use those controls to close the liftgate. Now, as we approach the vehicle, you'll notice there's no proximity door handles for the rear, but it will automatically unlock all of the doors. And then when you walk away, it will lock them. So that is nice to see. For your backseat passengers, you have this manual sunshade. You also get heated and ventilated seats. There's the window control, the release with grab handle, and storage down below. And then coming back to the captain's chair, you can lock that in the downwards position. And then this is the lever to unlock it, where you can recline and bring it back as needed. Now there's two ways you can get into the third row. You can push this button down below if you're already in this seat, or from the third row, you can push on this control and it will move the seat forwards. Now you could walk between this captain's chairs if you were small enough, but this is going to be your best bet. Now at 5'10", it's not all that bad. Between the Alcantara headliner, I have about a ½ inch or so. My knees are higher than the base of the seat, and my leg room is going to depend on where this seat is. So if you're taller than me, it's probably not going to be the best, but you have cup holders, you have auxiliaries too, you have some dome lights up top along with vents, which is nice, and then the large cargo windows too. So it's going to be better for kids, of course, but I could ride around if I needed an extra seat. And then for the captain's chairs, they are going to be very roomy. You'll notice that you have storage pockets, you have auxiliaries, there's also cup holders. You do get this storage tray that you can open up as well and place items in there. And then you have the armrests, which are adjustable, and of course you can recline the seats too. So you can get nice and comfortable in the second row, where you have leather and Alcantara for the seats. You'll notice too, you have your temperature adjustments up top. There's also some voice commands too. And then you have your vents and grab handle. And they're a really unique design for the back of the front headrest there. Now up front, you get heated and ventilated seats. They're massaging. There's the heated steering wheel, memory seating controls, window adjustments, and then the same design as in back. You'll notice too, the same design for the seats. However, you get XLine for these ones, and then they are power operating. As we hop in now, on the right of the steering wheel, this is how you start the vehicle. So with my foot on the brake, we can start it up. Where this has a unique ovalish design for the leather trimmed steering wheel, there's paddle shifters on both sides. And then on the right side, there's mode, voice commands, volume, another Bluetooth control. You have this tuning button and then a favorites button as well. So you can go through the infotainment system and adjust what you would like that to be set up for. On this left side, you'll notice there's some cruise control settings along with steering assist. This upper right button will go through the gauge cluster. So you have a few different settings that you can get into and then use the scrolling dial to monitor more of this information. So you have quite a lot to look at, just depending on what you'd like to see. And if we go back to holding on OK now for settings, you can bring that up in the infotainment system and go through all of this information here. So just a few features to adjust as needed. Now in the lower section, you have the different driving modes. On the right side, you can go into terrain, so snow, mud, or sand. The left side is going to be your on-road modes, eco, sport, and a My Drive, which is customizable. There's also the power steering wheel adjustment, so you can easily use that. On the left side, you have the e-brake, dimmer switch for the gauges, fuel cap release, traction control, a tow mode, and then you can open and close the lift gate. There's one air vent, ambient lighting, hopefully you can see the purple there with this nice wood trim. There's also a head-up display as well. And then for the rest of the infotainment system, you have a good bit to go through. So let's get into the home screen, where you have all of these widgets here that you can scroll through as needed. So you have quite a lot to look at. There's also physical buttons down below. So you can just tap on these here in order to get into all of this information. There's also another favorites button, so you can have that one set up as well. And you can also get into setup and go through some more of this information. Now you'll notice on this far left side, you'll notice your AC adjustments. So there's the temperature, fan speed, where the air is being shown. You can even get into the rear as well and pull that up in the middle. If you push on this arrow here, this is how you can flip-flop it. So you'll notice now we have all the climate adjustments. You can get into the rears, even the heated and ventilated seats, which is nice. You have your temperature adjustments, still a split view too, and you can go through some info in the lower section. So this is mainly going to be a fixed screen, just showing you all of those vitals until you pull it to the infotainment system to further adjust it. Now you'll notice volume along with vents. There's also physical buttons for your temperature, fan speed, and where you'd like the air to go. There's auxiliaries, 2 wireless charging pads, parking sensors, a downhill assist, auto hold, and a shortcut to the camera system. So you can pull that up using that control, or of course you can put the vehicle into reverse. So twist the end of this stalk towards you, and that's how you can bring up the camera where you have multiple angles to get into. You even have the 360 view with the top down there, and you can swipe around the vehicle. If I twist it clockwise now to put it into drive, now we can pull up the forward camera here and go through various settings. So you have no shortage of visibility. Park is going to be on the end of the stalk. There's also cup holders down below, which you can actually hide away. So if you need a little bit more storage, you have that, or you can bring them out as needed, and you can hide this with more of that wood trim. Now there's a split design for the center. There's also plenty of storage in the glove box, and then garage door buttons are on the left. Adjustments for that digital rear view camera are on the right. So you can go through a few of those. If you have this packed full of people, this is going to give you plenty of visibility. There's also a sunglass holder up top, sunshade adjustment, some dome lights too. This sunroof is going to be automatic. The sunshade is manual there. And then you have the one for your back passengers. And then there is a lot of glass for this SUV, so it's very easy to see. As we sat off behind the wheel now for the latest Kia Telluride, I have been able to check out the Telluride in the past, but we have very different options to showcase for this model. Kia offers quite a lot of trim levels, and you can also go with the non-hybrid for the Telluride as well. Now, I have been in the non-hybrid. I have driven the hybrid here. I would honestly opt for the hybrid just because of the power, especially with this turbo 4-cylinder. The hybrid gives this the power that it needs for its weight. The non-hybrid, I would say, is a little underpowered. I like the power delivery that you get from this, and with the hybrid system, it is in the background. So this is not a plug-in hybrid, but you get some of those added EV benefits for smoother accelerations. It will utilize the EV system at slower speeds. Even if you're idling, it may cut the engine off and you can run off the battery in a sense for some of those slower speed situations. So I personally like it. If you're not a fan of those extra electrical components, you have the non-hybrid, of course, but I think that the power in this is definitely what it needs for its weight. So let's put it into sport mode, and we can utilize the paddle shifters here. So let's go to second gear. This is pedal to the floor. As we get up to speed here, it's not the fastest vehicle, but we got up and moved. The non-hybrid, of course, is going to be a little bit slower, and I like this power output. Now, with the Telluride in general, I think this is a fantastic 3-row SUV, especially for the price. With the materials that you get for the inside, it's on par with some 6-figure vehicles, even some other vehicles that are 80, 90 grand, somewhere up there, well above the Telluride here for its pricing. So everything has a purpose. The leather, the wood trim, Alcantara. Of course, that's not every trim level, but for 60 grand, a 3-row SUV here, especially with its exterior look, it is hard to beat. Now with this trim level 2, I will say it's interesting to note that when you put the turn signal on, it does not have the camera in the gauge cluster. I thought that was on almost all of the higher trim levels for the Telluride, so that's interesting to see that that is the one thing that I don't think that this has. Everything else is very nice with the camera system in general and all of the other features that come with this. There's a few options for this model, like the paint and some of the floor mats and things like that. But the camera system, it's interesting that this one is missing that. Now for the Telluride's ride, this is a fantastic vehicle. This is something that you can absolutely daily drive. At 5'10", I have about 4 inches or so of headroom, and that is with the seat not all the way down. So you could be much taller than me and still fit comfortably. You have multiple ways to dial this in. It also has that easy entry and exit, so when you leave or shut the vehicle off, the steering wheel will move, the seat will move back, and it allows you more space to enter and exit. And while the vehicle is in sport mode, before I start accelerating, you'll notice that we are in electric mode right now. If I come to a stop, we have the idle mode. We can accelerate slightly for electric mode, and then as I start applying more acceleration, it goes into the charging mode or the hybrid mode. But here's pedal to the floor. And it has a good bit of pickup to it. So this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the Kia Telluride. And on this road here, we can test its handling. Weighs around 5,000 pounds. This is not a vehicle meant for cornering necessarily. It's not a performance-oriented vehicle, but for the speed that I'm going right now, it seems to be pretty good at taking these turns. Very good in its handling. So if you're going on some mountain road trips, you can get on some back roads like this and have a pretty decent vehicle to drive on these roads. It's absorbing bumps very well. We'll see how it does on this bridge here, where we have a good bump. very smooth and soft in its suspension. So that's fantastic to see. I've never really been able to test some of the performance aspects for this SUV. And with almost a full tank, this can go just over 500 miles. We're about 521 right now. So very fuel efficient, something that you can rack up the miles with less stops at the gas station. And you just have a very nice interior. The tech is easy to use. I'm glad Kia put some controls down below, which makes it even more user-friendly. And it's just a really nice layout. Lots of tech, super easy to go through. And for 60 grand, it's hard to beat a 3-row SUV, even with the Meridian sound system. So it is a perfect vehicle to daily drive and one that you can have for a long time. But that is going to wrap it up for the 2027 Kia Telluride, the XLine SX Prestige. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.